in the Congress, but we see that there is a differentiation, for example, when it comes to men, what you wear and what you really the sex lifestyle is. But on the side of women, it's in fact linked. You look at short skirt, and what you think is maybe, I'm not going to say the word, but you get what I mean. So they tell you it's a defense for prostitution. We told you from the beginning, find the word slut in the dictionary. We told you no. It is a slut and prostitution is a different concept. Moreover, they tell you like our concept of this as a fashion statement is wrong because you can wear whatever you want. Exactly our point. You can wear whatever you want, but people judging you is the wrong thing. You have to change that cycle of perception that is in fact forced upon you. Because if you, for example, go out to Hangang tonight to have fun, and contemplate whether you're going to wear a short skirt or a long skirt, and you can imagine how will the guy think. That is exactly the mindset that we want to debunk in this debate, ladies and gentlemen. The third of all, impact of slut walk. Again, they tell you this is about selling sex, prostitution. Iran told you no. And they have this problem with using the word slut. It is so wrong that why do they have to celebrate slut because slut is a bad thing. We think that you cannot debate until you are in that discussion. You cannot debate the negative connotation of the word slut unless you're using it to debunk it, Mr. Speaker. If I tell you that I'm a jerk, if I tell you that I'm a loser, I don't tell you because I am really a loser. I tell you to debunk that particular concept. This is exactly the side, exactly what we have been explaining to you from the beginning from the opposition side. These women are using the word slut not because they're slut, but because they want to debunk that word that men judge them to be, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker. Is there any recourse? They tell you all those criticism and stuff. We told you from the beginning the criticism happens after something goes shit. Why do we have to wait until some congressman talk shit about a woman before we do anything about it? Let women stand up for themselves before a congressman talks bad about you. So are there any exclusive benefits coming from the opposition team about slut walk? We think there are. First of all, this is the only way that changes perception. We can change laws nominally, but if you want to change your mindset, then it has to come from a particular demonstration that sends a particular message. It changes woman-woman perception. It changes man-woman perception. It is in fact the only way that makes the news. That is in fact out in the public to celebrate why slut is wrong. At the end of the day, I think they should stand up for themselves before, as men, we have to do. But at the end of the day, we are taking the debate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition, and to finish our debate, I'd like to invite the government to reply to
what would Team Opposition know to advocate women's rights, saying that we should refer ourselves as sluts, to advocate our fashion or advocate our interests in our world and so on? We believe this Team Opposition totally failed this debate today because we don't think this debate is anything about whether women should be a slut or not, whether women should have the right to be slut or not. We don't think this debate is about whether women have the right to wear sexy clothes or not. We believe that these are totally out of the debate today, Mr. Speaker. However, yet we see the Team Opposition continuously focusing on these debates and tell us that this is a fashion statement and so on. We think that the opposition side were very confused today in the fear that they're debating women. That, Mr. Speaker, they were saying that, we're actually referring them as a slut because they're not actually a slut. I'm a slut, that means I'm not a slut. What kind of logic is that? We don't really get how these women will actually refer to them as sluts, expecting other people to not judge them as a slut. What we think is that this public will view them as sluts anyways, because this public don't really engage and identify themselves equally to these women anyway. Mr. Speaker, in this debate today, there are major 3 points that we need to prove. What are the goals, and can those goals be achieved by this slut walk? Secondly, do we actually promote active discussion, or this is actually harmful or good? Lastly, I will talk about whether women's rights can be actually improved or achieved at the end of the day. And Mr. Speaker, we do believe together that the last goal or the ultimate goal that we want to achieve is to promote women's interests. We don't have to debate about that. But however, do we actually see that these movements achieving those messages? We have told you that this can never change perceptions regarding women. We don't see how freedom of expression is violated. We say that that already exists. We told you that this is not really about a debate of fashion. So let's say even if that's about fashion, we told you how fashion statements is a separate debate from me referring myself as a slut. They also told us how, slut is actually different from prostitution and so on. But as I've told you, those public or these women or these men viewing them, referring to them as sluts, automatically links with that concept, Mr. Speaker. We have told you that. They told us that men doesn't really have an equal wording to call themselves as slut. We see the words like men whore or men sluts. Why do you not see that word? We believe that, the status quo equality already exists, Mr. Speaker. Don't upload it. Mr. Speaker, we don't also see how these women can achieve themselves of freedom and liberate themselves from these males by using the word slut, which is male-dominated word, which is male-created word. We don't see these women actually liberating themselves. They're only lingering on that word, attaching themselves to these male-dominated society, Mr. Speaker. We believe that this cannot be achieved. We told you that it's not necessary because people already know that referring to women as sluts or they saying that, being raped is okay. We told you how check and balance already exists that I would like to talk about. Mr. Speaker, secondly, debate. We told you that debate already exists. Women are not passive anymore to hide in the walls and say, I'm not going to go out because I'm scared of these men calling me, that I deserve to be raped. We're not shushing people down. We told you referring to them as slut is simply inappropriate. We told you that check and balance system already exists, like feminism movement. They criticize these politicians saying those words. We told you that check and balance system already exists, that we don't really shush people away, we don't really wait. We talk and tell them that this is bad. We criticize them. We told you therefore debate already happens. Women are not passive anymore. But lastly, Mr. Speaker, women's rights. Do we actually advocate and achieve women's rights at the end of the day? Mr. Speaker, we don't see how women's rights can actually be achieved by slut talk. Because on the opposition side, they only talked about how discussion is going to be brought by. They talked about how these women are going to refer to them as sluts and increase awareness among our people. How does this actually improve women's rights? They never directly told us that this actually increases women's rights. They never ever talked about our argument on how it diminished the feminism movement as a whole. They never ever talked about how it also detaches these people from the mainstream and diminishes the very value of women and other women who wear sexy clothes as well. For these reasons, we believe that the opposition side fails to win this debate today because they're simply males.
Congratulations, Corman.